Hi, it's
Hi.
nice to see you again.
It's good to see you too.
So, do you want to talk about why you're here?
Well, I have a real problem with my physician. Um, I go to him and try to tell him my problems, but he wants to talk about my husband's problems. And he doesn't really want, I think he thinks I'm a hypochondriac because he doesn't listen to me. He just sort of blows off. Like, I told him that my back was really hurting me and that it's important that I'm on my feet a lot during the day where I work.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's important that I stand up straight so and not look like an old lady bent over.
Uh-huh.
And but my back really hurts. It's my lower back. And I told him this, and I've been seeing this same doctor for over 20 years, probably closer to 30 years.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been a while. And his response to me when I told him that my back hurt is, yes, you've complained about your back for many years now. But he didn't do anything about it. He didn't, he tells me to stretch, he shows me how to stretch my back. And he said, "Let me see you stretch your back." So I showed him like he had taught me before. And
Mm-hmm.
he says, "Do you do it often?" And I said, "Well, I do it in the morning when I get up, like he suggested. And sometimes I do it before I go to bed. And yet, I think he told me that I should do it while I'm at work. I can't do it. I work in retail, so I'm in the public's eyes. I don't have an office where I can sit and do back stretches.
I understand.
And
So, you feel like he is not hearing you when you're telling him your problems.
right, he's not listening to me. And because that's not my only complaint. That's why I think that he thinks I'm a hypochondriac. But I do have medical problems.
Uh-huh.
I have high blood pressure
Uh-huh.
and I'm diabetic.
Uh-huh.
And I know, and I've had high blood pressure and diabetes for at least 20 years, and he's been my main physician.
Uh-huh.
So, he's been through all my trials and tribulations, and he knows my children, and because they used to come to my doctor's appointments with me,
Uh-huh.
and so
So you
he's
have a relationship
right.
with him, and you feel like now your relationship is changing with him.
Yes, yeah, my children tell me, you need to go to another doctor, one that's going to listen to you because he doesn't. I mean, yes, I take insulin.
Uh-huh.
He makes sure that my blood sugar, because he really harps on my blood sugar. He's
Uh-huh.
always telling me you got to keep your blood sugar down to 120 or below, and it can't get above 160, which is almost impossible for me. I've never been able to keep it that steady. It's always been highs and lows. It's either
So
high or it's low.
so he's concerned about your blood sugar.
Yes, very concerned about it. And he keeps warning me. He keeps telling me that I'm going to go blind. I'm going to have renal failure. I'm going to have to go on dialysis.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to have a heart attack. And all
And
these.
so when he tells you these things, how does that make you feel?
Well, in the past I haven't been listening to him, because I know he's telling me this. Because my mother had the same problem. She was diabetic. She took insulin. She had heart problems. She had renal failure. She was on dialysis and she was legally blind. But my mother was 75 years old when she died.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not 75.
Uh-huh.
And I think I'll be lucky to live to be 75. But because of the way the doctor talks.
So you feel like he's trying to scare you
Yes, I do.
into
Submission. So to bring down my blood sugar and to keep it stable.
And why are you opposed
I
to
don't.
this?
If it were easy to do, I would do that. But I've never been the type of person to eat breakfast. Um, I've always had problems with trying to maintain my weight, and not this weight, but when I was younger. But trying to keep it down. And so if I don't eat, then I won't gain the weight. And if I eat, then I'm hungry the rest of the day. And I've tried eating just salads, and I brought my blood sugar down real low a few months ago, and it was because I didn't eat breakfast, and my blood sugar would go down to 60, um, down to 60. I don't know what the measurement, but and then I would get the shakes and the regular things that happen when your blood sugar drops. Um, and then when I'd come home, I'd eat salads. I never lost any weight, but it brought my blood sugar down real low.
So you felt like you were suffering the whole time
Yeah, I was.
for no reason that you could see.
Yes, because I wasn't losing weight, and that's he used to keep telling me, you gotta lose weight, you gotta lose weight. Well, then I guess he realized that I'm from my parents and my grandparents, and my family's been overweight.
Uh-huh.
Um,
That it was
yeah,
genetic.
it's genetic, and that it's not. My dad was barrel chested, and that's how I feel that I am, and I feel like I'm a combination of both my mother and father because of the problems that I have. My father's family all had heart problems. My grandmother and my mother's side of the family were all diabetics, and they all had diabetic related illnesses.
Uh-huh.
So,
So you see yourself in both your parents,
right.
and you feel like you got the worst of both.
Well, no, I don't feel like I've got the worst, but but I feel that though that because it's genetic, there's not a lot I can do about it. Except I try to watch my blood sugar. I'm not a real big exerciser, which I know that if I exercise, that would help my blood sugar and probably help me feel better and would make me feel less depressed about my situation. Because when you go to because I have to see him every 3 months, and now he wants to see me every month, and
Are there exercises that you would like to do?
I'd love to have an exercise bike, but I don't have room for it, and they're too expensive. And and, and I'm afraid that I wouldn't, that it would, the novelty of it would wear off, and so I wouldn't use it, and I wouldn't get my money's worth out of it.
So
So,
the idea sounds good, but
right,
the reality,
right,
maybe not.
right, because I'm afraid that I would misuse it. I mean, I wouldn't use it, so I wouldn't.
And it would just sit there
Right, and collect
after
dust.
a few months.
Right.
Would
And then I'd feel bad and guilty that I spent that money on that.
when it could have gone to something else.
Yes.
Is there any other exercises that you might do?
Well, if I lived in an area where there were an indoor mall, such as the Woodlands, I might do the mall walking because my husband and I did do that at one time. We would go to the mall and we'd walk, but my husband always walked faster than me, so it was a real effort for me to keep up with him. Because I do a lot of walking in my job because I'm on my feet for 6 or 7 or 8 hours a day.
So you do exercise.
I do, but it doesn't seem. I guess it's not steady enough. But I'm walking around the store quite a bit because there's so much stuff I have to do, so many details I have to take care of. You know that, and the pricing and signing of the items in the store. So
So back to your doctor.
yes,
You feel basically that he's not helping you with your situation.
that's right.
And you feel that he's trying to scare you into submission
Yes,
to keep your blood sugar down.
that's right.
And you would like to keep your blood sugar down, but you tried it and it was hard, and there's not really any more exercise that you can do or that you would do realistically.
No, because I mean, my community has a swimming pool, but you're not going to catch me in a bathing suit.
Okay. Um, okay, that's all. God. Oh my god. It was 11 minutes.
Okay, that's good enough.